Hi Aries, welcome to April. This is Teresa from tarotbyt.com, and I'm getting ready to do your April Love TarotScope. And for those of you who are having birthdays, happy birthday. This is your month. Plus we're having a new moon in Aries, so this is your new moon, and I'll talk about that later. But for now, let me first call in some good energy and create some sacred space. And we will start to think about what does Aries need to know about love and relationships for the month of April, and anything else that significant. What does Aries need to know about April? What's coming up for Aries? We have a full moon in Scorpio at the end of the month, and on the 15th we have a new moon in Aries. And this new moon can bring some surprises because it's connected to Uranus. So but I think it looks good, so it's got to be better than what we've just gone through with the full moon in Libra, which affected relationships, and it was T-squared by Saturn. We just had that on the 31st, so we're coming out of that T-square, and we're looking forward to April, which we're not out of the woods yet because Mars and Saturn and Pluto are all kind of ganging up in Capricorn, so. And plus Mercury's retrograde, so it just, everyone's been struggling with the astrological aspects of late. So let's see what the cards have to say for Aries. Okay, what does Aries need to know about love and relationship? May only the highest forces be present to ensure that the truth be told. Okay, Five of Swords, the Strength card, the Queen of Cups, the Four of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, the Death card, the Empress, the Four of Cups, the King of Swords, and the Two of Pentacles. Okay, so you're starting out April with these two cards here. The Five of Swords and the Strength card. You may be dealing with psychological issues at the beginning of the month. The Five of Swords, with this card, you may feel like you're being victimized, or you're dealing with someone's hostility. This is a card of, you have to learn to accept a situation and the people involved for who they are and what they are, because you can't change it. It's almost like if someone angers you, if someone's trying to draw you into a drama or push your buttons, you may be dealing with that, or you might be dealing with someone's anger, because the Strength card has to do with taming the beast within. You may start the month off feeling irritable or angry, or maybe impatient, because you want things to happen, and they may not be happening quick enough, or people are not getting you, and you're getting frustrated. This can be a card where you're feeling that you may be feeling a little paranoid, like everybody, like the victim. You may feel that people are judging you harshly, and with the Strength card, that's a card of dealing with anger issues. You have to go deep and deal with any kind of hidden or repressed anger. And instead of blowing up in a situation trying to get your needs met, you have to learn how to be calmer and use honey to win, be kind to get what you want, and try to be more diplomatic, because Aries is so, I want it now. And sometimes when people don't succumb to what you're wanting, or don't give you what you want, you get impatient, you get angry. So you might be dealing with that in a relationship where the person is just not playing by the rules, or not doing what you want them to do or what you expect them to do. The other hand, this could also be that you're dealing with some kind of psychological issue that you really need to face, and deal with. You might be going to counseling. Seeing a therapist or a counselor might be good if you're dealing with that type of thing. And now this is a general reading, so not everyone's going to be, losing their temper or needing a counselor. But you will be dealing with anger issues and learning how to control those anger issues and not see yourself as the victim, but see where you can be empowered. And the other thing is, there are certain situations in a relationship, there are certain things that are out of your control. What these two cards represent, the only thing that you can control is yourself. So if you're dealing with someone who seems like unbendable or stubborn or not willing to change, you may have to just either accept the person or accept the situation for what it is, knowing that, you know, there are some limitations and there are some things that are not going to change. Or if you can't accept the situation, then you have to walk away, because you're not going to be able to change certain things. You have to just accept that this is the way certain things are, and no matter what you do, you're not going to change it. That could be in a relationship, it could even be within yourself. You have to see yourself. And if you have some issues, you have to face those issues and get help or get counseling or try to deal with them on your own, where you're working on, you know, you can't just blame other people, because it takes two to tango. A lot of times when we get into a conflict with someone, we project out and want to see it as the other person's fault. But it takes, you know, two people are interacting, so you can't just look at it as just the other person. You have to look at what you're bringing to the table, what you're contributing. And you have to also accept that some things are just out of your control. And that's this Five of Swords. You know, I can't change everyone. I can't change the situation. I can't, you know, I may have a fantasy or a dream of how I'd like it to be, but I have to also face reality. The Queen of Cups, this could be a person that you're involved with, someone who's very intuitive, very caring, very sensitive, very artistic. Maybe you're going to this person for help. Maybe it's a friend that's helping you, or a partner that's in your life. It could be a water sign, because the cups usually relate to the water signs, which would be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But even if it's not the sign, the qualities of this person is someone who's got a lot of compassion and who really wants to help and really has a lot to give. This person has a big heart. The Four of Pentacles, there could be a situation where one person's being a little too controlling. And it could be, you might have an argument with someone around money or possessions. Maybe one of you is holding tight to your possessions. You're not wanting to give. Because the Pentacles are about financial security, or what do you need to feel secure. Fours usually represent security. Pentacles represent money or material things. So you're looking for something that's secure. You're looking for a secure situation. You may feel that this person you're involved with doesn't want to share. Maybe you feel like they should be giving more to you and they're not. They're holding back. And that might be angering you. So you may be having like a temper tantrum. That's where the Strength card comes in. You have to learn to calm yourself and not go to extremes of emotion. Not overreact when things happen and feel victimized. I mean, if you are in a situation where you're being victimized, if you feel like someone's being abusive to you, you need to leave, walk away. Don't put up with anything that's disrespecting you. Don't put up with a relationship that does not honor you or respect you. But at the same time, you can't control everything either. So if there's a little bit of control issues going on, you may have to lighten up a little bit and kind of go with the flow. This card also represents learning how to give so that you may receive. A lot of times people just want to receive and they don't know that I also have to give. So there could be an imbalance in a relationship where one person's doing all the giving and one person's feeling like they're not getting enough. And so maybe you have to look at that. If it's you, maybe you need to start giving more. If it's your partner, maybe you need to talk to them about the imbalance. And maybe as a relationship, this card sometimes represents counseling, where you have to deal with your issues. Maybe you need couples counseling, and that could help each person see how they're contributing to the problem and what they can fix, because you can work on things that you can. I mean, people's character, your character is your character. The only person that can change, you can only change yourself. You can't change anyone else. But through counseling, you may gain insight into like certain habits or patterns that may be coming in, you know, disrupting a partnership. And so you can fix that once you're aware of it, and once you see what you need to change within yourself, not someone else, because everybody's responsible for changing themselves. But if you can see how you both can change, you might be able to salvage the relationship and you know, bring greater harmony to the situation. Coming up in the future, you have the Seven of Cups. So this tells me, and the Death card, which doesn't mean death, by the way, what it means is change. You're feeling that a cycle in your life is coming to an end, that it's a time of clearing out, that you want to have a new beginning. The problem is that you haven't really decided where you want to go. With the Seven of Cups, you have a lot of options. You've been dreaming about your options or thinking, well, maybe I could do this, maybe I could do that. But you haven't made a decision, so you're kind of on the fence. Where, like, okay, I'm not happy, but I'm not moving toward what I want either. But with the Death card coming, you're going to have to make a decision, because the Death card is saying it's time to get rid of whatever's no longer serving you. It's time to release the past, release what's no longer working, and make room for some new beginnings. So if you're in a relationship that's not been working out, and you've tried everything, it's possible that you might feel like walking away and say, you know what, I've tried everything, we've gone to counseling, I still feel like I'm not getting what I deserve, I'm being victimized, this person is not willing to work with me. I mean, if you're in that type of situation, it may be that you need to clear out and get ready for some new beginning. But it could also mean clearing out past behavior patterns. That it doesn't mean that the relationship has to end. So, because for some of you, you might just walk away, but for some of you, you might say, you know what, maybe it's me I have to change. Maybe I have to get rid of my preconceived ideas or my behavior patterns that I haven't been willing to let go of. Because this is about holding on. You're holding on to things that you don't need. And that could be stuff within yourself too. Not just material things, but a way of being. So you're going to have to look at that. With the Empress here, this is a card of family. Home, family, abundance, creativity, and it's in your negative thinking sector. So even though you really want to have a home and family, you really want all these things, you're having doubts about it. It's like you're self-sabotaging. I feel like because you're thinking negatively, you could be blocking whatever new beginnings are trying to come through. So what you don't have to throw everything out. You know, this isn't drastic change like the Tower, let's say. This is saying that, yeah, there are some things you have to eliminate. There are some things you need to get rid of. You know, maybe patterns from childhood that no longer work in this day and age or in this situation. Because you want to have room for growth. But you have to learn how to compromise too. But the Empress is usually a card of abundance. So it's there for you. It's just that your thinking, your thought patterns are blocking it because you're thinking in the negative instead of thinking in the positive. You need to think, what can I do? Like, what can I gain? What's positive from this situation? What can I work on that I can change? How can I make things better? Where is it that because if you feel like you're restricted, yeah, maybe you can't move in this area, you can't change this, but maybe you can change that. So you have to evaluate, what can I work with? What can I change within myself? What can I change within this relationship, this situation, and work on that and let go of whatever I can't change. Knowing the difference, and that's where this card comes in, which I'll get to later. Learning how to discriminate, learning how to figure out what can I change, what I can't. What can I change and work toward changing that? What can't be changed and I have to accept. That's what this card is. This card is about accepting what you can't change and only working on the things that you can. So in your environment, you've got the Four of Cups. And that's a card of discontent. So you might be in a relationship with someone who is feeling bored and unsatisfied and taken for granted. It could be that they feel, that you don't value them, or you might be feeling that they don't value you. This could be one of you in the partnership is feeling that you've reached like a dull period or a valley in the relationship where you're just feeling like it's the same old, and you're not growing, you're not changing, nothing's, there's nothing exciting anymore. And one of you might be feeling undervalued, underappreciated, and you're starting to think, well, maybe I should look at other options. What are my options? And this could be a relationship. It could also be in a career situation, but it's a cup. So here, something is being offered to you, but you're not sure you want to accept it. A part of you is holding back. Like there will be an opportunity, like where someone is offering you either love or some type of partnership, some opportunity, and you're on the fence, like, I don't know if this is what I want. So you're not, and it's because you're thinking, well, I don't know, is this the best option for me? It's like one of those, like, I don't know, maybe there's something better around the corner. Maybe I shouldn't take this. Maybe there's something better. Maybe if I just wait, I'll get something better. You don't want to, so you have to do some thinking. What do I really want? And that's what this King of Swords is about. The King of Swords is about, this is in your wish fulfillment sector, what you want. So you have to really think critically and seriously about what you want. Is this situation, is this relationship giving me what I want? I mean, you don't have to throw everything out, but you have to know, what do I keep, what do I get rid of? Because you're in that period of clearing out with the death. It's like the winter time, and you have to like prepare the ground for spring, and you have to get rid of all the dead and dying things, so that there can be new growth. That's what the death represents. It represents transformation. So you're going through a period of change and transformation where you need to release what's no longer serving you. But you can't be on the fence about it. You have to know what you want. You can't just do it haphazardly. So this card, and sometimes this card can represent an authority figure or someone that you feel is judging you harshly. So you could have a partner that you feel is too critical or too hard on you. Sometimes this can mean a legal situation that you have to deal with for some of you. But mostly it's saying, and it could be a parent that's giving you advice and you feel like, well, they're just kind of strict, and I don't know. Maybe you have issues with a father figure. Maybe that's preventing you from bonding with someone. And that could be part of this issue here with the Strength card. Like you might be treating a partner based on childhood wounds. You have to heal some childhood wounds because they're coming up in a relationship. And then the Two of Pentacles here is a card of juggling. It's another card of also, you've got two options. You may have several options, and you're trying to decide which is the best one for me. You might be working two jobs. You might be seeing two people, or you might be in love with two different people, or considering two different options, two different paths. And at some point, you might be overworked because you're doing so many things, but you're going to have to decide at some point what you want and what is going to give you this sense of abundance and this sense of family. Because you can have this. The Empress is the mother card. And so you want to be a good mother, or if you're a woman, or if you're the mother in the family, you want to nurture your children. You want to nurture your creativity. If you're in a partnership, you might be mothering your partner too much. That could be another thing with the Empress. Maybe you need to let the partner, stand on their own 2 feet and be an adult. Maybe you're doing too much for them. They need to do things for themselves. So those are some of the issues coming up in April. Now let me look at the astrology. So for you, you have the new moon in Aries in your sign, in your first house. And this is connected with Uranus. So anything can happen. I mean, this is really an exciting time. Time where you can really make major change. Now the new moon, so if you wanted to have a new beginning or create a new identity for yourself, April is a good time to do it. Maybe with the last full moon in Libra, some things in a relationship may have come to a head, or you realize certain things about a relationship, so now you're ready for a new beginning. Now, you have Venus. This moon is supported by well, it's not really like the moon. The moon is conjunct Uranus, so that means it's time to break free. It's time to, have a new beginning that allows you to feel free. But at the same time that the new moon's happening, Venus is opposing Jupiter. So you're feeling optimistic, and that's affecting your relationship. No, it's affecting your second and eighth houses. So that's the money house. So there could be some new money coming in. Maybe a partner is having some luck, and it's bringing more income in your life. If you're married, or if you're in a partnership where you're sharing resources, your partner could get some type of job or promotion, and you're feeling good about that. You're feeling that it's going to change your relationship. If you're not married and you're just dating, sometimes Venus in the second house brings money. So you've got Venus in your second house. Venus moves into Taurus like April 1st or the 31st or something. And it's going to be in Taurus for the whole month, pretty much, like 3 weeks. That's going to bring money. But Venus is more than just money. Venus also represents, well, the second house is the house of self-esteem. What am I worth? What is my value? Can I receive love? Venus is about giving love, but it's also about receiving love. And with Jupiter there, I feel like you're really ready to be loved. You're ready to give and receive. Jupiter may have you spending money now, because Jupiter, it's a card of abundance. It's a planet of abundance, and sometimes you go over the top. So don't spend, if you get like a windfall, don't go blow it all because on a spur of the moment purchase or something like that. So your money will be coming in, but save some of it. Now, Venus and Jupiter are also favorable to Mars, Saturn, and Pluto in your 10th house. So there could be some career success coming in April. Also a change in status. So that could mean marriage. It could mean promotion. You're being seen. You could get a powerful position as a manager. Or you could, get married for some of you. The 10th house is usually career, but it's also your public life. So whatever's going on with you, it's going to be public. It's going to bring you recognition. You also have Mercury trining the North Node in the 5th house. And Mercury right now is retrograde. So you could be reconnecting with a partner from the past. And maybe you decide to work on a creative project together. Because the 5th house can be romance. It could be children. It could be creativity. So you could have, for some of you, you might want to have a child. Some of you may want to, start a creative project, renew something. It's like going back to the past to make it better, to renew it. Whatever you're doing, you're going to have fun in April. The full moon is in Scorpio, and that's at the end of the month. And that, again, is going to... So whatever you start on the 15th may come to fruition by the end of the month. So the end of the month, the moon is going to be in your 8th house. So if you need any kind of resources... any kind of money, there should be money coming in. But you're also going to be feeling good about yourself. So your 10th house is activated this month. You're going to be feeling good in April, and you're going to be feeling optimistic, like I can do anything. So whatever's going on here, you might be working through relationship difficulties or through your own psychological blocks so that you can embrace the good fortune that's coming up in April. So release what no longer serves you, and that means it could be a relationship, it could also be psychological habits and patterns where you self-sabotage. And don't be doubtful of the opportunities that are coming, because there are opportunities coming. I think that, having a new moon in your sign is really a good time to start any kind of self-improvement or anything that you want to try to improve or, have a new beginning in some area of your life. And especially since it's in your first house, it's going to affect your relationships. So it could be when you go back to someone because Mercury's retrograde and you say, let's try again. And you have this new beginning within the relationship. And it may involve some type of counseling where, you look at what the problems are and you commit yourself to working to overcome them. Whatever it is, it's going to bring in more security. You're going to feel better about yourself. You may get involved in a creative project that gives you a sense of self-esteem, a greater sense of accomplishment, you're going to feel supported in April. So the people around you, probably from a partner, you're going to get more support from a partner, especially financially. Maybe you've been carrying a difficult financial burden, and it's going to be relieved a little bit because someone is there for you. So that's my forecast for April. I hope this reading was a help to you, Aries, and again, have a happy birthday and have a wonderful, successful new beginning, because I think you're going to be involved in multiple projects. So don't be afraid to make a choice. Don't be afraid to work on things that may be a little bit difficult, because that's the only way you grow. You know, you have to get through things, and you have to look realistically at your situation, and you have the energy and you have the courage to make changes. So I'm not worried about you there. Just don't be stubborn, and learn how to compromise and work with others. Don't have an attitude like it's my way, you know, and there's no highway. You have to work with people, and consider other people's feelings and consider other people's needs, and you'll do fine. Okay, I hope this reading was a help to you, and I will talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.